In November of 2022, a 30-year-old in cargo shorts and a wrinkled t-shirt lost $8 billion of other people's money in about a week. And here's the part that should stop you cold. He wasn't hiding in some dark corner of the internet. He was on the cover of magazines. He ran Super Bowl ads. He put his company's name on an NBA arena. His name is Sam Bankman-Fried, and this is the story of how the second biggest crypto exchange on the planet turned into a graveyard. Stick with me to the end, because the lesson buried in this one could protect your money someday. Let's dig in. So here's how it started. Sam Bankman-Fried, people just called him SBF, was a math kid out of MIT. In 2019, he starts a crypto exchange called FTX. Think of an exchange like a bank for crypto. You send them your money, they hold it, you buy and sell. Simple. And FTX grew like a rocket. In 3 years, it's worth $32 billion. He's got Tom Brady in his ads, Larry David, a stadium in Miami with FTX on the front of it. And here's where it gets almost funny if it weren't so expensive. SBF played a character, messy hair, cargo shorts, slept on a beanbag in the office. And I mean this literally. One of the most respected venture firms on earth, Sequoia, gets on a video call while he pitches them. And the whole time, he is playing a video game, League of Legends. During the pitch, they found out later. You know what they did about it? They wired him over $200 million. Then they published a glowing article about him titled, and I am not making this up, Sam Bankman-Fried has a savior complex, and maybe you should too. That is how good the story was. An awkward genius who was going to get filthy rich just to give it all away to charity. People wanted to believe it so badly that the smartest money in the world stopped asking the one question that actually mattered. Where is the money? Hold on to that question. It's the whole episode. Now here's what almost nobody watching FTX understood. Sam didn't have one company, he had two. There was FTX, the exchange, where regular people parked their money, and there was a second company called Alameda Research, a trading firm, his own private hedge fund run by a woman named Caroline Ellison, who also happened to be his ex-girlfriend. And these two were supposed to be totally separate. Your deposits over here, his gambling over there. They were not separate, not even close. Here's the whole crime in one sentence. FTX was quietly taking the customer's money, the deposits, and shoveling it over to Alameda to make risky bets. We're talking about $8 billion of other people's money. And this wasn't an accident. Investigators found there was basically a backdoor built into the software, a hidden setting that let Alameda borrow customer money with no limit and no alarm going off. So while you thought your cash was sitting safe in your FTX account, it was actually out in the world, buying real estate in the Bahamas, venture investments, political donations, loans to his own executives. It was gone. You just couldn't see it yet. And it gets worse, because you need to understand what was holding this whole thing up. FTX printed its own coin. They called it FTT. Now think about how strange this is. Alameda, the hedge fund, its biggest asset on paper was FTT, a coin that FTX made up out of thin air. So the empire was propped up by monopoly money it printed itself. As long as everybody believed FTT was worth something, the house of cards stood up. The second people stopped believing, the whole thing comes down. And in November of 2022, somebody gave it a push. On November 2nd, a news site called CoinDesk publishes one article, and that article shows Alameda's books. And people who know how to read them realize, wait a minute, this giant hedge fund is basically all FTT. It's propped up by FTX's own coin. That's the crack. Now watch how fast a crack becomes a collapse. There's another giant in crypto, a rival exchange called Binance, run by a man known as CZ. And Binance happened to own a big pile of FTT. On November 6th, CZ announces to the world that he's selling all of it, $500 million worth. Now put yourself in the shoes of a regular FTX customer. You just found out the company's a house of cards, and the biggest player in the game is running for the door. What do? You go grab your money, and so did everybody else, all at once. This is a bank run, same as the old black and white photos of people lining up outside banks in the Depression, just happening on phones in minutes. In 72 hours, customers try to pull out $6 billion. And here's the moment the music stops. FTX can't pay them because the money isn't there. It's over at Alameda, spent, gambled, gone. On November 9th, FTX freezes everything. You cannot get your money out. For a minute, it looks like Binance might swoop in and buy FTX and save everybody. They look at the books for about a day. Then they walk away. One look was enough. And on November 11th, 2022, FTX files for bankruptcy. Sam Bankman-Fried resigns. $32 billion, more than 1 million customers, gone in about 10 days. And Sam himself? On paper, he had been worth around $26 billion. Forbes put him on their big list of the richest people in America. Within days, they changed his number to 0. Not close to 0, 0. The man they bring in to clean up the wreckage is named John Ray. This guy is a pro. He handled the Enron bankruptcy, one of the biggest frauds in history. And even he looks at FTX and says, and I want you to hear this, he says in all his career, he has never seen such a complete failure of corporate controls. No real board, no accounting you could trust, no grown-up in the room. Sam Bankman-Fried is arrested, put on trial, and on November 2nd, 2023, a jury convicts him on 7 counts of fraud. He's sentenced to 25 years in prison and ordered to forfeit $11 billion. Caroline Ellison, who ran Alameda, she cooperated and got 2 years. The golden boy of crypto is now a number in a federal prison. So here's what I want you to actually take from this, because it's not crypto bad, it's bigger than that. Number 1, if you can't see your money, you don't really have it. FTX customers thought their cash was sitting in an account. It was already spent. When something holds your money, you should be able to ask a simple question. Where is it right now, and can somebody independent prove it? If nobody can answer that clean, that's your warning. Number 2, be careful when the story is better than the proof. SBF had the perfect story, the genius, the charity, the celebrities, and the story is exactly what stopped smart people, serious investors, from asking where the money was. When something is all flash and no boring paperwork, slow down. The boring paperwork is the point. And number 3, anybody can print their own scoreboard. Alameda looked rich because it was holding a coin FTX invented. That's not wealth, that's a magic trick. Real value is something other people will actually pay you for, not a number you made up about yourself. I spent 27 years running into burning buildings, and I'll tell you, the fire doesn't care how good your story is. Neither does money. FTX is buried now, but the lessons it left behind are worth real money if you actually use them. This is the money graveyard, where we dig up the fortunes that died so yours doesn't have to. If you want the next one, the story of a company that lied its way to $9 billion, that's Theranos, and it's right here on the channel. I'll see you there.